Welcome to the workout of the day. We're going to go through this is part of our Restore workout, and we're going to be using a foam roller. So hopefully you have a foam roller. If you don't, you can skip along to the next portion of the video. But if you do, I would strongly suggest it's a great tool to be able to use and kind of really help restore and loosen up your muscles after you've had a hard week of working out or just being sitting and kind of really loosening up things. So we're going to start off with one of the tougher ones, which is the IT band. You're going to be right here on your side. I like to be down on my forearm. You have the bottom leg straight, and you're going to do kind of a long sweeping movements along here and working the IT, going all the way to right above the knee, but not over the knee, and all the way down to the hip. And for each of these, you want to do about 5 to 10 reps along the muscle or along the tendon. I'm gonna do that on both sides here. From this side, make sure you use that top leg there, going along the outside of the leg, and working this kind of will also help take some pressure off your knees and your hips because the IT often gets tight. So 5 to 10 reps, and if you find a little bit of a knot, you can kind of roll in that spot. Okay, so now we're going to go work our way to quads. So you're going to be here kind of in a little bit of a plank position, and we're going to have 3 different foot position with this. You're going to have your toes straight ahead, and you're rolling to right above the knees, all the way up to a little bit above mid quad. And after you do about 5 to 10 reps, then you're going to have your heels together, your toes out, which will get a little bit more of the inner thigh side of the quad. Or your back to medialis. And then you can turn your toes in. And same idea, if you find any kind of knots there, you can kind of sit on that spot for a little bit longer and give it some extra time. Now we're going to go into calves. Calves here, you can roll on the calves just like that, nice and evenly. I like to stack my legs. It gives me just a little bit more intensity, and you don't even have to raise your hips that much. You kind of move your legs side to side, working on the calves. You'll get a couple spots, and doing about, like I said, about 5 to 10 reps along it. Or if it's really tender, spending a little bit more time. Notice one side is a little bit more tighter than the other, and don't be afraid to spend more time on the tighter side. Next one, I call it the Captain Morgan, or the inner thigh one, where you're going to have the leg to the outside. You're going to make sure your hip's at 90 degrees. Hand is here. You're going to roll along the inner thigh all the way to right on the edge of the knee, but not over the knee. You're going to have to find the right leverage to make sure that you're putting enough pressure in those spaces. Same idea, if you find a knot, just kind of stay with it a little bit, roll it out. Okay, we do the same thing on the other side. And brief, is this just like a massage? You want to make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout this session and after to help flush your system. Great, so now we're going to start to work our way to our back. So first thing we're going to do is you're going to lay down here on your back. You're going to bridge up, place this on the small of your back. Okay, and you're going to hug your right knee in towards your chest and allow this leg to slowly come down towards the ground. For some of you, if it doesn't, try to let it come down as low as you can. Ideally, you want this down so we get a little bit of a passive stretch in the hip flexor. You're going to hold that for about 15 to 20 seconds. Make sure you're breathing nice and evenly. switch it up. I'm just going to do that once. You're welcome to do that a couple of times. And then the second one you're going to do in this position is a figure 4 stretch. You're going to cross the leg over, reach through, and pull back, and kind of sway a little bit side to side with the foam roller underneath your back, which feels kind of good. Hold this for about 15 to 20 seconds. If longer if you have the time, or do 2 rounds. And this work is good to do, you know, at least once a week, sometimes even more, to kind of help reset your body. Now what you're going to do, you're going to come up, we're going to be rolling from the lower back to the upper mid, so you can go to the right to the shoulder blades and roll all the way to almost the lower back. Keep your hips closer to the ground when you're doing this one. Maybe 5 to 10, and got a couple more. So you get right underneath the shoulder. And you roll right here where the lat connects into the shoulder. Sides. You might notice again that one side's tighter than the other. Spend a little more time on the tighter side. And then we'll go right into outside shoulder, and we're gonna get one more after this one. So you're kind of finding spots, kind of tilting forward and back, and rolling right along the outside of the shoulder. Still in that kind of 5 to 10 range, a little bit longer if you have the time. Last one is rolling on the outside of the chest and the front of the shoulder. And I like to turn my hand. I like to turn my hand like this because I feel like it really opens things up and it allows it for you to really get into the spots that often tense up. You run to the edge of the chest to the front of the shoulder. Both sides. You can even get into the bicep a little bit, which is nice, which often gets tight, which sometimes makes your shoulders roll forward, and we want to open those shoulder blades and pull them back.